organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
On this edition of Daily Iowan TV,
Reimagining Icon, all you need to know about the rehaul of the online tool.
and it's a grand old party. See what UI conservatives are doing to celebrate identity.
And in sports, the NBA playoffs are just getting started.
All that and more next.
Daily Iowan TV is ready to go.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Mary LaPlaca.
And I'm Hannah Thompson.
Icon is getting a facelift. You may have seen flyers across campus promising a new look, feel, and features. Daily Iowan TV's Jordan Mickle found out what this update will do for both students and faculty.
Fewer clicks, more alerts, and less complexity are a few promises Icon is making with their newest update. Not only is Icon's logo being changed to university colors, but students can also have their grades texted to them as soon as they're available.
One of the largest responses we got from students is that they want to know when their grades are either being updated or posted. And as a result of that, the company that actually runs Icon, which is Desire to Learn, has made that change in this new version.
She said this is the largest update since its 2005 launch, and the update will help students get more involved in their classes.
For students, it's really going to make them a lot more engaged in the course because they'll be getting reminders for things as the course goes through.
But would students want to have their grades texted to them?
I think getting your grades texted to you would be really beneficial if it's an urgent grade, but I don't think I'd want mine texted to me just because I want to choose when I want to look at my grades.
Beck said with instructors having a more simplified process to upload content, this will help students get all the information they need in one place. Jordan Mickle, Daily Iowan TV.
If you're taking a summer course, be prepared as a 2-day maintenance period will occur on May 27th and 28th to transition to this update on the 29th.
An Iowa City man racked up 6 charges early Sunday morning after fleeing from the police. Police responded to a complaint that David Robinson struck a parked car and fled the scene. Officers pursued Robinson on foot, where a police dog flushed the man from a wooded area. One officer received minor injuries from the pursuit, and Robinson faces 1 felony and 5 misdemeanors.
UI students are getting conservative. This week, UI college Republicans are hosting Grand Old Party Week. It's a week-long campaign to generate support and recognition for their organization. Today, they began by populating campus in red to promote conservative government. Chair of UI College Republicans, Quentin Marquez, says he feels UI often gets looked at as being a very liberal university. Marquez hopes this week will spark a political enthusiasm within the student body.
And this year we really wanted to focus on issues that are important to college students. So right now if we look, the national debt is $17.5 trillion. That's $55,000 per person in America, and that's debt weighing on the heads of every college student.
Students can look forward to an appearance by congressional candidate Dr. Marinette Miller Meeks, a baseball game, and a barbecue at College Green Park later in the week.
Tangled dog leashes resulted in an attempted assault last evening. Police say 46-year-old Bruce Steele and an unnamed person were walking their pets a little after 7 p.m. when the 2 leashes became tangled, causing a verbal fight between Steele and the other individual. Steele picked up a brick and threw it at the victim once the leashes were separated. He later admitted to doing this to the police. Steele has been charged with assault while displaying a dangerous weapon, and that's an aggravated misdemeanor.
When thinking of museums, a traveling one is not the first thing that usually comes to mind. But the UI has just created a mobile museum that allows them to take their exhibit throughout the state. This 38-foot-long RV was a custom built for the UI to take their research and exhibits on road trips around Iowa. They say the hope is to help broaden the reach outside Iowa City. The bus went on their first trip, a public showing last weekend in Fort Dodge, Iowa.
I'm hoping eventually that we can reach people in every county. It would be great to continue the mobile museum every season, possibly with different research units at the University of Iowa.
Right now, the mobile museums have 3 exhibits inside. One has artifacts from Western Iowa, and another is about Ice Age mammals. The 3rd exhibit focuses on different people throughout the history of Iowa. This weekend, the museum will truck down for a public showing in West Burlington and will continue to Decorah, Iowa for the following weekend.
Much more still coming your way on Daily Iowan TV.
What did state lawmakers accomplish this year? We'll have your summary and a political alert.
And in sports, golf is continuing their win streak.
And a lot of rain has hit Iowa City today. And for more on the weather this week, let's toss it over to our own Megan Horahan, who has the latest forecast. Megan?
Thanks, guys. I've got some good news and some bad news. Sunshine is in store for tomorrow. However, this ugly rain that we saw today will be revisiting us later on in the week. Tomorrow morning, we'll start off with 51 degrees and sunny skies. That beautiful weather will continue on through the afternoon with a high of 62 degrees and will carry us on to an evening with 50 degrees, and those clear skies will remain. Looking at the forecast for the rest of the week, you will want to enjoy tomorrow because Wednesday and Thursday will bring on some April showers. The temperature on Wednesday could reach 61 degrees, but there's also a 60% chance for rain. By Thursday, there's a 100% chance for rain, so expect to break out that umbrella. Friday will be partly cloudy and will give us a break from that rain, but Saturday and Sunday will bring on some more rainy weather. I know these April showers are not what we are looking for. However, if everything goes as planned, we'll see those Mayflowers soon. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Megan. And as we approach the end of April, our state lawmakers will be closing this year's legislative session. With that, we'll hand it over to our own Reed Chandler for a look at what bills will and won't be getting a vote this year. Reed?
To eliminate bills that don't have a lot of attention or support behind them, lawmakers set a funnel deadline, usually in March, that requires a bill to have already passed one chamber of the legislature and to be taken up within a committee in the other in order to still be considered. As the end of this year's legislative session approaches, tonight we take a look at 3 bills that survived and 3 bills that died in this year's funnel. First, we have the fuel tax. It's a survivor. Right now, there are 2 versions of the bill. One raises the tax on gas by 10 cents over 3 years. The other version cuts the gas tax, but increases the tax on wholesalers. Lawmakers seem to think the second option is most likely to pass. Another survivor, anti-bullying. This one was a priority outlined by Governor Branstad in January. The law would allow schools to enforce anti-bullying policies on incidents that take place off campus, and to notify parents when bullying involves their children. Last on our list of survivors is a fireworks bill that would legalize some fireworks sales in the state. The proposal is opposed by firefighters, medical societies, and insurance interests, but lawmakers think the business currently going out of state for fireworks sales would benefit the state economy. Now for the bills that died in the funnel. First up is raising the minimum wage. A bill would have raised Iowa's current minimum wage of $7.25 to $10.10 between now and 2016, but that was tabled thanks to House Republicans who say they'd rather create an atmosphere where businesses create jobs that have high pay. Then we have traffic cameras. A bill would have placed them on state and local highways, but it did not get enough support, so for you speed demons out there, you're in luck as long as an officer isn't around. Lastly, the death of a texting and driving bill that would have made the deed, a primary offense. Right now, you can't be pulled over for texting and driving, but if you get pulled over for something else and you were texting, you could get an additional fine. This bill would have allowed officers to pull you over for just texting and driving, but it died in the House. That's a funnel roundup for you in this week's Political Alert. Back to you.
And now a look for what's happening beyond Iowa. Lucky to be alive, a 16-year-old boy stowed away in a wheel well of a plane Sunday from California to Hawaii. FBI spokesman Tom Simon said based on cold temperatures at 38,000 feet above the ground and a lack of oxygen, it's amazing that he survived. Surveillance footage confirmed the boy hopped a fence to get to the Hawaiian Airlines Flight 45. After the incident, security questions are being raised.
And could the future bring a smartphone charger that could fuel your phone in 30 seconds flat? Well, the future might be a lot sooner than you'd think. By 2016, an Israeli startup called StoreDot plans on making this a reality. and they're hoping to sell it at a price tag reading a mere $30. The prototype is currently a brick-sized battery pack and faces one problem. It charges fast, but the phone holds the charge for a shorter time period. But StoreDot is working on the issue along with the charger size to be consumer ready.
And today was the first Boston Marathon to be ran since the bombing attack last April.
The results on the race and everything else in the sporting world, we'll toss it over to our own Alyssa Bergamini, who's in the Daily Iowan TV sports studio. Alyssa?
That's right, ladies. Thankfully, good news coming out of the Boston Marathon this year. Golf and track both coming up later in the program. But we begin tonight with a look at what happened in Boston earlier today. Inside the Daily Iowan TV sports studio, I'm Alyssa Bergamini. Meb Keflezighi became the first American male athlete to win the Boston Marathon in 3 decades. The 38-year-old who was born in Eritrea clocked in at 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 37 seconds. The last time an American runner won the marathon was back in 1985 when Lisa Larsen-Weidenbach took the women's title. Bringing things a little closer to home, the official Drake Relay starter list was released today, and Iowa will be sending a whopping 17 different events, including 6 relays to Des Moines. 6 runners will compete in individual events and 10 more in field. Events start this Wednesday and will run through Saturday. The first round of the NBA playoffs are off to an exciting start. For the Western Conference, the San Antonio Spurs, Portland Blazers, Golden State Warriors, and Oklahoma City Thunder all taking their series openers, and for the East, Atlanta Hawks, Washington Wizards, Brooklyn Nets, and the Miami Heat winning their respective games. Our own Daily Iowan reporters Kevin Glick and Matt Gable sat down to hash out who they think will win this championship series come June.
Thanks, Alyssa. The NBA playoffs are getting underway, and Matt Cable here is with me to debate who is going to win the NBA Finals. Matt, I know you're a big Heat fan. Why don't you make your case?
Well, I mean, anytime that you have LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, Kevin, you can't really go wrong. You have a really good chance. But the biggest challenge that the Heat have is finding the real support players, and that's going to be the X factor for them. So you have players coming off the bench like Ray Allen. You brought in Greg Oden, who's going to be a presence against the big man of the Eastern Conference, and then potentially into the NBA Finals as well. Yeah, and then yesterday, Eric Spoelstra also threw in James Jones, who played in 20 games throughout the regular season. And he came in yesterday, had 12 points. So you throw in someone like that who can be a big replacement for Mike Miller, who the team amnestied over the summer. And I think that you got a good chance for the Heat.
Yeah, I'm going to go a different route. I'm going to take the field just because of how many different ways that the Heat could stumble. But I think where they'll lose is in the Western Conference. I mean, you have the Spurs and the Thunder, both teams that they played in the finals. And the Spurs really probably should have won last year in Game 6, and they didn't close it out. They could have, but they shouldn't. But they're playing well. Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Tim Duncan, that core 3, they've been through a lot of finals together. They're playing well. They're rested. Tim Duncan has probably not played as much this year, but he's ready to go. And then there's the Thunder, who they have Westbrook back, and he's firing on all cylinders. He had 23 and 10, but that 10 was 10 rebounds, which is pretty crazy for a point guard. And then, of course, you have Kevin Durant, who scored 33, and they just really made quick work of Memphis last night. I think that either the Spurs or the Thunder, whichever one will get in the Western Conference, that's who I think will win. For more on this debate and who's going to win the NBA championship, check out DailyIowan.com or Tuesday's edition of the Daily Iowan. But for now, Alyssa, back to you.
Thanks for that, guys. And good news on the course for the men's golf team. They won their 2nd consecutive tournament after taking the Boilermaker Invitational on Sunday. The team carded a 54-hole team score of 865, the 2nd best team score over the 3-day tournament. Senior Stephen Ime defending his 2013 title at the outing, posting a career best 8 under par, 64 in his final round. He birdied 7 of his first 8 holes, helping him earn his 2nd best individual 18-hole score in program history. Well, that'll do it for me in the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio. Mary and Hannah, back to the desk.
Thanks, Alyssa. Only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek into tomorrow's pages of the Daily Iowan.
Losing interest? Find out why the American Indian Student Association canceled their yearly powwow at the UI.
And getting rid of radon, read what Representative Braley had to say with the Iowa City School District about radon testing.
Well, that's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out at the same time tomorrow or anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching. Have a great night.